So now we're back in my main camp for day 301 in hardcore Minecraft. No stalling though, we have a lot to do, especially if I want to make it to 1,000 days. And the very first thing I wanted to do was to go back to the end to get a second elytra. In my 300 days playthrough, pretty much everyone called me out for not putting mending on my elytra, so I'm trying to fix that right now. But of course, remember, this isn't normal Minecraft, this is hardcore. If I die, it's over. So even though I really wanted that elytra, I spent all of day 302 tunneling to get one. And yeah, this is a little awkward, but I wasn't recording for the real day 303, so I already have that elytra. Luckily, I took this screenshot to post on Twitter for day 303. It's our only evidence. Day 304 was mostly just me on a horse, but by the end of the night I was back home. And right before bed, I spent a little bit of time updating the treasure room. I know it might seem a little anticlimactic, but that elytra is just gonna sit in a chest for a little bit. I've got some work to do before I can make it a mending elytra. And that work involves this desert town. There's gonna be a lot of exploiting. My basic idea to maximize profits in this town was to use this sand to make glass to sell to villagers to get a ton of emeralds. And because this town's in the desert, I have a massive amount of sand for unlimited profit potential. Of course, that's gonna take a lot of work, but the 2 auto furnaces I built on day 307 should help. And the town's pretty unsafe. There's no wall, so I feel totally naked. Had to run back to the main camp on day 308, and my turtles hatched, yes! And because they spawned here, they'll think this depressing little piece of sand is their home beach, and I can breed them. Anyway, I was mostly just here for supplies, and stayed for the turtle breeding. I mean, who wouldn't? Day 309, I'm back in the desert, making living spaces that are totally up to code. But at night, all production stopped when I found a zombie villager, and once I lured him into my house, I got to the business of curing it. It took a while. It was almost the next morning when he turned back into a villager. He almost immediately started going through my house though, so I dealt with him. Day 310 was essentially just spent making a massive sugarcane farm in the desert, and production on that sugarcane farm continued to day 311. By the end of the night, the desert was looking pretty fertile. Day 312, I'm finally starting to make some profits, selling off my glass panes to these cartographers in the desert town. But of course, if I want the real profits to begin, I have to set up an involuntary breeder. Just know that this is not how you want to construct one, and I learned that the hard way. That night I decided to explore some nearby caves. Not only did I find an abandoned mine shaft, but I also found a zombie spawner. So needless to say, I also spent all of Pi Day down in the mines. Day 315 was spent consolidating my servants into one factory. There aren't that many of them. It didn't take that long. That night I did a drive-by and a pillager captain to get the bad omen effect. And now it's raid time on day 316. Of course, I would never bring turmoil to the desert town. I'm in that first town that I found that I don't care about anymore. There's one single villager in this town, and as long as he doesn't die, I'll win the raid, so I'll keep him safe. The raid lasted well into the night of day 317, but because it was a level 1 raid, it wasn't that hard. I got the victory. When you defeat a raid, you become the hero of the village. That's what that icon in the top right of my screen indicates. When you're the hero of the village, you get discounts in the store, so every glass pane I sell to these cartographers makes me more profit. My hero status lasts for about 2 or 3 days, so of course, that's all I'm gonna be doing. By day 320, I wasn't a hero anymore, so it was back to shoveling. And, you know, that was it. I shoveled all day. I was just going back to the pillager outpost on day 321 when I fell in a hole. I was fine. I was mostly worried about Warthog. I got him out, but it took all night. Horses and caves just don't go together. Well, we're back to business on day 322, just trying to get another raid. This time we're testing our luck with a level 2 raid, so it should be a little bit more difficult. The raid was almost over on day 323. However, my diamond helmet broke and the damage really started to add up. Most of the damage came from the Vex, and I didn't want to push my luck here, so I ran away. For the time being, I was able to go back home and make a resupply, which was much needed. Then I realized I only had 4 diamonds to my name and couldn't even make a helmet, so I decided to hit the mines. And somehow, just by mining, I became the hero of the village. That's weird, but I'll take it. And now with my upgraded public image, I went straight back to profiting. And I mean, can you blame me? Look at those amps. Oh, and I don't know if you noticed, but this cat's been following me for a few days. I can't stop him. Day 326, the exchange rates for the cartographers are getting absolutely horrible. They're charging me way more now, even though I'm the hero. I'm fairly certain it's because I'm selling them mountains of glass. I should probably calm down here for a couple days. And I did. I built the wall in the desert, but I wasn't recording. I made it out of sandstone. I thought it was fitting. There's still a lot more to do. All of day 328 I spent lighting up the wall. Wasn't recording again on day 329. All I did was line the wall with cacti. I thought it would help keep zombies away. It doesn't. Still gotta find ways to keep myself busy, so on day 330 I built a farm. I mean, how am I gonna be a big fat cat glass tycoon if I can't control the local food production? Day 331 I went back to the abandoned mine shaft. I had nothing else to do. It was a fairly productive day that ended with a bunny suicide. I'm still waiting for the markets to restabilize on day 332, but I found diamonds, so there's that. And after a long day of mining in day 333, I realized on the way back that I walked over some diamonds. Day 334, I spent all day just trying to grab a second horse. It's harder than it looks. This one's not as good as Warthog, but he'll do. And if he dies, I won't be sad. Day 335, I'm setting up farms for beets, potatoes, and carrots. At this point, I had never successfully made a villager breeder, and I read that multiple types of food can help. And at night, I checked that the price of glass was back to normal, so it's time for more profits. diamonds. But first I gotta get my poll numbers up, so it's time to start a war. This war took several days, mostly because I had to run away several times. I took so long the raid was no longer active, but the raiders didn't despawn, so I still had to kill them. So even after killing all the raiders, it took so long that I wasn't even a hero. Yeah, no profits for me today, just back to shoveling. I'm still shoveling on day 341, but I'm telling you I'm gonna turn this sand into emeralds. And at night I lit up the surrounding area. As you can see, there's tons of zombies in these parts. This should be the last day of profits for a little bit. I'm getting very close to my goal, which I'll talk about tomorrow. Oh look, it's tomorrow. Time to set up this beacon. This is what I needed all of those emeralds for, to set up a beacon at max power. And there it is, my first beacon. It's beautiful. The beacon allows you to choose from a variety of powers that all just make life easier. And hey, it's just kind of pretty to look at, especially at night. Unfortunately, the beacon's power can't reach me down in the mine, but that doesn't matter because I already started finding some diamonds. I actually found tons of diamonds today, 45 of them. But now I've got a new project. I'm gonna make this raid town a little more defensible. It's gonna be very ugly, but also very deadly, like your mom. It's actually a fairly simple contraption stemming from the highest point in the town. In theory, with the flick of this lever, I'll drop lava on pillagers, but I'm terrible with redstone, so it doesn't work. It just dropped buckets of lava. I don't know why. I finally got it to work on day 347, but I think I'm gonna need more lava. I also spent some time terraforming the land, so there's literally only one way up to my position. Oh, and of course I'm putting a lava trap on the only way up. It's definitely not perfect, but I'm getting somewhere. Again, this whole system's totally ugly, but there's only one villager living in this town, and he's stuck in his house by my order. I also had to completely change the way the lava's delivered on day 350. I think a piston system will work a little better. And by the end of this day, I had to resort to using dirt, but I think it's done. So bright and early on day 351, I went back over to L-Town to resupply for war. And it took all night, but eventually I did get the bad omen effect. The traps work okay. Honestly, the best part is I can stand above the pillagers and shoot them with my bow now. The stairway lava trap is by far the most deadly, and it's super helpful when pillagers spawn inside my wall. But it's not perfect. Sometimes pillagers spawn inside my house, and there's not much I can do about that. But still, after 2 days, I beat the raid and ate some cake. Even though I'm a hero now, day 354 was mostly just chores. I'm gonna feed these carrots to my villagers. They've got plenty of food, plenty of beds, but they're still not breeding. I don't know why. I added doors, I tried everything to make this thing work. Oh well, I'm sure I'll get it eventually. Back to Bloodshed, I spent all of day 356 just trying to get a level 3 raid. But first, I've gotta build something in the main camp that's very important. It took all day, but I built a giant totem. I'm getting a large amount of Totem of Undyings from all these raids I'm doing, so I'll need a proper place to store them. And now I have a new goal, to fill this chest to the brim with totems. The next 2 days were spent on a level 3 raid that I completed without much incident. I didn't get as many totems this time, mostly because they were incinerated, but that's fine, at least I won the raid. Even with my level 3 discount though, I couldn't make that much profit because I didn't have enough cartographers to sell my glass to. I figured I could do something with this glass surplus and started construction on an aquarium. By the next day, the aquarium was getting there, but all I have is salmon. I need something more exotic. Short trip to the ocean will fix that. I didn't get back until the next day, but now I have a bustling aquarium. And the best part is you can walk along the inside of it to get a nice view of the fish. I think Warthog likes it. Anyway, back to business with some more raids. Like most raids, this one took 2 days, and the lava did most of the work. This is also the day I took the screenshot for the 300 Days World Tour, which is why you see a beacon in there. Now today is day 365, which means we've made it 1 year in hardcore Minecraft. And I celebrated with a cake, served on a diamond platter. This will be a relic for all time. Day 366, I didn't do much during the day, but at night I went out looking for zombie villagers. I need more cartographers, or a librarian. I'm getting desperate. The breeder isn't working. Not much going on day 367, but after some fishing I got an idea. Yep, I'll be making an AFK fish farm. I'm giving up on getting a mending book from a villager. I have no idea how this works. I totally looked it up on Google. I was lusting for that mending book so hard I fished for all of day 369. Don't worry, there'll be other 69s. I kept it going all of day 370 just for good measure. I wasn't recording for the first part of day 371, but I put a glass enclosure around the fish farm. Oh, and I just let it go. I'm pretty sure I went bowling with my dad Torzen Mater while this was happening. Still going on 374. Yeah, still bowling on 375. Probably driving home on day 376. Nope, false alarm, whole nother day. Day 378, I got to check the loot though, and I got 1 mending book. Yes! So finally, I completed my goal of getting an elytra with mending. I was also able to get a bow with mending, but it was on severely low health. I'll just fix it up with the farm, no problem. That's probably the last of the fish farming I'll do though. It didn't feel honorable. And as you can see, all of day 379 was spent mining obsidian. And that was pretty much it. I also got a nice shot of my base's skyline. Now I'm gonna be putting that obsidian to good use and started construction on a nether highway. Every block in the nether is 8 blocks in the real world, so I can really travel with this thing. Sure, it's dangerous business making one of these things, but when it's done, it'll be totally worth it. I was down in the nether for a total of 3 days and mined until my pickaxe was just about to give out. But after a short resupply, I was back in business on day 384. I really wouldn't recommend doing this without an elytra. There were many times where I fell, but the elytra saved me. I mined for all of day 3 386 and all of day 387. Now this highway goes 2,000 blocks or 16,000 blocks in the real world. I needed a little break from mining, so day 388 I decided to go back to conflict. Day 389 I did the raid, and I hardly had to think. My traps are very effective. And now because my pickaxes have mending, I can fix them by selling glass panes to the cartographers. So not only do I profit, but I fix my tools. Day 390 I did some more work on that zombie spawner I found a while ago. And at night I found a zombie villager. I had plans to turn him into a librarian until a creeper killed him. To cheer myself up, I just worked on the wall all day 391. And day 392 I went back to the desert outpost to start a conflict that never needed to happen in the first place. With my wall and traps, the raids are very easy. The only difficult part is trying not to burn all the items I need. I never came close to dying, but only got 2 totems because the rest were burned in lava. And would you look at that, it's time for another raid. Honestly, I was just having a lot of fun burning all these guys. Of course, I laid waste to the pillagers and gained 5 more totems of undying. The chest is getting pretty full now. Day 396, I made some really quick profits at the desert town before going back to what I love to do most. One thing I'm really trying to do here is get the efficiency of this pillager spawner up. I want to find a way to get Bad Omen more effectively. One thing that really helped was putting little half slabs around the whole thing, so any pillagers that spawned would almost instantly see me and come towards me. So by sunset on day 397, I was already started on another level 3 raid. This time I had some issues. The pillagers weren't really spawning where I needed them to. I also had some trouble with the Vex. Here my totem saved me, thankfully. It was a rough night, but the lava mopped him up and I got the victory. Day 399, I installed a landing pad at the trap control room. Now if I'm in a pinch or there's Vex on me or anything that can happen during a raid, I can easily land at the top of the traps. And by nighttime, I was back to making more blood money. Oh wow, it's day 400. I have nothing planned. Sounds like a perfect excuse to do another raid. I spent all of day 400 just trying to kill one pillager captain, but couldn't do it. Fortunately, I got one on day 401. But again, even after an entire day of killing pillagers, I only got to Bad Omen 2. I'm starting to kill so many pillagers, these ominous banners are really starting to clog up my chests. But hey, I still need more totems, so we're right back at it. The raid didn't end until nighttime on day 403. But I netted 6 totems, and as you can see, the chest is getting pretty filled up. And what did you think was gonna happen on day 404? This one was a very interesting day. I got Bad Omen 3 insanely quickly, then went right over to Raid Town and completed the raid within the day. Day 405 was a little less interesting. It's just footage of me buying stuff at L-Town and putting banners up. Back to raiding on day 406, I'm really starting to get the hang of it. That one took 2 days, but at this point I'm 5 totems away from getting a full chest. I'm excited, and with my hype levels at an all-time high, you gotta know I went straight back to raiding. And by nighttime on the next day, I flew away with total victory. You know, the entire point of this series is to never die, and I think I've done a pretty good job at securing that here. I had more than enough totems, so I decided to dive bomb into the ground to use up one. Alright, there's 10 days to day 420, so I'm gonna start burning them trees right now. After what feels like eons in conflict, it might be a little fun to spend some time on vanity. I'm building one swanky joint to spend day 420 in. It's gonna take a whole 10 days. So yeah, the next couple days I'll be working on the cool shack, and today I'm working on the pool. Though on day 412, in the process of trying to create a fire feature, I almost burned down more of the forest. Day 413, we're getting there. This pool's starting to look pretty classy, and by nightfall I was pretty much done with the lavish quartz entryway. Day 414, I spent all day trying to get these 4 horses back to L-Town. It wasn't easy, but I did it. Day 415, I started converting one of these old villager houses into something very special. It's a nice horse-sized house in L-Town for someone I care very dearly about. Day 416, I gathered some rose bushes with Warthog. I didn't tell him why, and then I brought him over to his new house. He's definitely earned it. I think he really likes it. I don't know what I would do if Warthog died, so I'm retiring him. He's gonna live here happily for the rest of his days. He's living better than most of the villagers in this land. He's even got a food dispenser, and his groupies are always close by. Sure, I'll miss him, but I know he's happier here, and I can always visit. Day 417, I went back to the main camp for supplies and got the bright idea of breeding the cats. It was a horrible mistake. I just gave up trying to get them all back into the cage, so now they'll just sit around the compound scaring away creepers and phantoms. And I also started converting the dirt roads in L-Town to granite. I wasn't recording for day 418, but I built this awesome observation deck. It's got a great view of L-Town. I also tried to build an auto pumpkin farm. I really doubt it's gonna work. And tomorrow's day 420, so I gotta make sure to stock up on that white stuff. Soon as I woke up on day 420, I started burning hella trees. You don't understand. I burnt down a whole ecosystem. Then of course I watched the sunset from my observatory. And at night I went into the green room and started burning that sweet berry kush. I mean bush. I meant to say bush. Well, after all that, I deserve to go straight to hell. I got more tunneling to do. I've already gone 16,000 blocks and I'm trying to get 16,000 more. I guess I haven't really talked about why I'm making this nether highway in the first place. I'm trying to find a woodland mansion, and they're generally very far away. And after 4 solid days of mining netherrack, I was fairly close to the mansion. There's also a jungle over here, which is just awesome. So I made a little jungle shack that'll work as my base of operations for a little bit. I had to spend all of day 425 going back home, though. I've got to resupply before I can take on the mansion. And I had to spend all of day 426 going back. Woohoo! got back at sunrise on day 427 and immediately started lighting up the roof of the mansion. The mansion is full of pillagers and I want to make sure I have at least one safe place to go to. I carved my way into this bedroom and this will be my safe zone. Of course, the entire rest of the mansion is infested with pillagers. The mansion is very large, so clearing it is a very tedious process. Essentially, you just have to kill all the monsters and light up the rooms. There's some really nice rooms in this thing. If I was lazy, I'd build a home here. I'm personally a fan of the dungeon. It looks real cozy. Anyway, I was slow and methodical about the whole mansion clearing process, like everything else I do in this series. The biggest thing you gotta watch out for are the evokers. They'll spawn the Vex if you don't kill them quickly. And in these tight passages, you definitely don't want Vex on you. By day 429, I was fairly certain I had killed all of the pillagers in the mansion. There were a couple more mobs spawning, but I think that's just because of the dark spots. So I spent the rest of the day lighting it up, because everything the light touches is my property. Day 430, I realized there was a small swamp town right near the mansion. So of course, I spent all day locking the inhabitants inside of their own houses. I had to horse my way back home on day 431 though. I need more supplies. And I've been meaning to name my new primary horse. I'm gonna call him Mongoose. I also got an achievement for rubbing myself up against a honey block. It was pretty easy. Of course, all of day 433 was spent going back to the mansion. However, most of my time is gonna be spent in the swamp town. I'm making a massive villager breeder just to test some theories that I have. I'm thinking the reason my desert breeder isn't working is because the height of the ceiling, and I'm testing that theory here. And after 3 days of hard labor, I consolidated all of the villagers in the swamp town. I went back home real quick to grab some carrots to feed them. I spent most of day 438 traveling through the nether, so when I got back to the villagers, they were too tired to breed. And yes! I've done it! A child! It was definitely the size of the roof holding me back. I'm pretty sure the children have to be able to jump on the beds for the villagers to breed. And now that I'm done experimenting on the swamp people, I can go back home. The only footage I have for day 441 is some AFK fish farming. Just a little bit. Day 442, I started chopping spruce trees for a new project. Yep, that's all I did all day. I'm gonna need some large wood. All of that wood's gonna be used on this massive road project. I'm gonna try to connect my main compound to the desert town. The old road was truly abysmal, and I've been ashamed of it for many moons. This road will be much thicker, and in turn, more beautiful. However, that also means it's gonna take up more resources, so I'm already back to chopping. I'm still chopping on day 445, but day 446, I'm doing the opposite of chopping. And you can already tell, this road's gonna look pretty nice. I wasn't recording for the first part of day 447, but now I have another dog. I was also able to get the road all the way to a birch forest. So now I'm gonna start making the road out of birch trees. At night, I bred this new dog with the dog I don't talk about. Maybe eventually I'll have a dog army. Day 448, I started on the birch section of the road. If I can get through this forest, I'll be at the edge of the desert, which is what I wanted in the first place. Still not there yet, but tonight I decided to sleep in the birch shack, for old time's sake. More of the same on day 449, just placing some birch wood. And by day 450, I've touched down at the desert. Though honestly, I'm getting a little tired of building roads. I think for now this is good. It's a nice road that goes all the way to the desert outpost. This was all really just an excuse to get more shots of my base's skyline. My elytra is just about to break though, and on day 451 I tried to heal it. Though I'm telling you, this mob farmer's just super slow. I may have fish farmed. I didn't want to, but I had to. I mean, in theory, I could sit here for 1,000 days and just AFK fish, but I'm sure you guys want to see some action. That means it's time for some action-packed mining. I still don't have mending on my armor, so I have to use diamonds to fix it. It's quite the drag. By the end of the day, I got 21 diamonds. Not bad. Day 454, I built an auto furnace. I'm gonna convert all the cobblestone I'm getting from mining to nice smooth stone. I actually built 2 auto furnaces. I think they look kinda nice. Later, I stood in the rain, thinking about all the people I've killed. Doing some more mining on the next day, nothing interesting happened. What more do you want from me? Oh look, more mining. How exhilarating. Still mining, but at least I got diamonds on day 457. Alright, the mining needs to stop. I probably have enough diamonds at this point. Yep, I played hardcore Minecraft on Christmas. Isn't my life sad? Of course I was still mining, but I found a zombie spawner, and this one should be near my main compound. I surfaced and found out that it's really not that far away. 300 blocks tops. I'm gonna convert that zombie spawner into a zombie farm, but first I have to burn down some trees. Obviously. Hey, I also found a nice use for my andesite. It might take a few days to make a proper zombie farm, but it'll probably be better than my mob farm. Day 461, I built a ladder straight down to the zombie farm, which should help with maintenance. And now it's time to get to the business of converting this thing. I did most of the carving on day 462. I know you gotta make a big room around the zombie spawner for it to work, though I really should have consulted Google before I started on this thing. I thought I knew what I was doing, but I totally didn't. Yep, 3 days later and this whole thing is still pretty useless. Oh well, it'll still be here. I can always figure it out some other time. It's gonna be a big day today. I'm tearing down the walls. Of course, I'll be replacing the walls. The cobblestone wall is has served me well, keeping out zombies, creepers, everything, but it is a little bit ugly, especially for someone like me who's been in the game almost 500 days now. There's a lot of wall to replace. This might take a while. This just shows you how important that outer wall is. I mean, that creeper could have got in if it wasn't for it. I almost got there by the time the sun went down, but you don't want to be messing with the wall after dark, so I went to bed. This should be the last day of wall renovation. I'm excited. I finished by the time the sun went down, and I gotta say, it looks a lot nicer over here. Day 467, I redid my storage shed. I need these ocean monument blocks. I decided to redo the whole thing in quartz. I got a ton from making the Nether Highway, and honestly, I think the quartz looks a lot nicer next to the mine. Day 468, I took Mongoose out to the ocean, and in the middle of the ocean, I built a conduit with a shack on top of it. I still need a trident, which means I need to kill Drowned, and the conduit's gonna help with that. However, this is the Java version of Minecraft where tridents are notoriously hard to get. I didn't get a trident, but I got to watch the sunrise on day 469. There's another pillager outpost near my ocean connection. I burned it down at some point. I tried to make a pillager farm all day. It's not gonna work. I was fighting Drowned all night and got a craving for that sweet, sweet dolphin meat. Day 470, I tried to name the meat it dropped Raw Dolphin, but that's illegal. Oh well, I ate it anyway. It tasted delicious. Day 471, I went looking for a horse. Mongoose is good and all, but he's not that fast. I found a pretty fast one and knew just what to name him. Day 472, I got another fast one. It's time to start the breeding. And who knows, maybe with enough inbreeding I can get a horse to rival Warthog. Day 473, I'm placing a lot of dirt. It's time to make the compound bigger. I'm not kidding. That was all I did all day. 474 was spent putting a wall around my newly constructed land. Of course, now we got a lot more land, and I'm gonna fill it with weird stuff. Day 475, I bought some puffer fish from the Wandering Trader. They were 5 emeralds apiece, but money's of no concern. Maybe almost died putting them in the aquarium, but I also have a double chest full of totems. That would have been fine. Day 476, I'm finally dismantling that old road to the desert. Gross. That was pretty much it. I've been meaning to expand the cartographers, but I'll get to it later. More nether tunneling on day 477. Why? Mind your own business. There's a town about 1,000 blocks away from the main compound. I found it in the first 100 days, and I'm building a tunnel in the nether to it. And I'm already there. Like I said, wasn't too far away. The plan is to abduct villagers from here and bring them to my main compound. Then I'll breed them, and then the profits begin. I got my first villager on day 480, a humble farmer. Now I don't have to go all the way to L-Town if I want to get some pumpkin pie, so I named him Uber Eats. Day 481, I got myself a stonemason. I can sell any excess smooth stone to him for emeralds. Other than that, I did some walking around the base, wondering what to do next. Well, if you don't know what to do, you can always do some mining. It's Minecraft. I also checked on that fresh new horse I bred. He's not too fast. Might have to send him to the leather factory. I got more diamonds day 483, and that was about it. Day 484, I'm trying to turn this villager into a mending librarian. Ah! A mending book! Yes! I was about to drop my entire life savings on mending books, but when I came back, he was selling Bane of Arthropods. Ugh! I would have murdered him, but the dogs were watching. I just waited until it got dark and then I ganked him. I got another mending librarian the next day, but the books were gonna cost me because I killed that first guy. You know, I don't really need this emerald gate, do I? Yep, I'd much rather have 7 mending books. Started off day 486 by putting more banners on the Tree of Murder. I also updated my storage to have a quartz floor. It looks nice. Oh, and just if you're wondering, it's not Christmas anymore. That was only a couple days. I've also been meaning to redo my conduit. I've never liked how it juts out of the water. I actually wanted to put it completely above water. I also installed another conduit near the swamp. It doesn't look pretty, just functional. I did some cave exploring day 488. Nothing bad happened. I went back to the desert town on day 489. I gotta make some money. I forgot that this horse was here. Well, he's useless. At night, I went to the nearby ocean looking for Drowned and pufferfish. I was pretty efficient. During the day, I made money, and then at night, I went looking for Drowned. Day 491, I kinda realized horse breeding sucks, so I took the best one and just named him Chief. I also put all my pufferfish in the tank. They killed the other fish. This is now definitely my favorite thing. Day 492, I got another villager at the base and turned him into a Fletcher for unlimited arrows right here. I also put quartz underneath the chests in my storage room because I care what you all think of me. Day 493, I'm clearing out some land for a villager breeder near the compound. I'm ambitious. It's large, but that's how it's gotta be. I learned that the hard way. And I was almost finished with construction on day 494. It looks pretty good for a glorified prison. You know, I could have left it boxy, but I took a whole nother day to put the roof on. Well, not the whole day. I had a little time at the end to change my horse road to diorite. Forget the villagers, I'm finishing this tomorrow. The next day I used every single last block of diorite that I had and it turned out perfect. I couldn't go all the way, but at least the part around my camp looks good. I spent all day 497 putting villagers inside of the breeder. I only got 2 of them. It was hard work getting them to listen to me, but at least I got to ride the minecart track through the nether. But with enough shoving, anything's possible, and day 498 I got 2 more. This is probably the last day I'm gonna be grabbing villagers. There's plenty of them, it's just kind of annoying. And it was another big day today. I got 3 more villagers for a total of 7. Oh, and this is only the beginning. Oh look, it's day 500. We're halfway there. The first thing I did was build a monument to my survival in hardcore Minecraft for all this time. I call it the Eternal Flame, and it will burn until I'm dead, which hopefully won't happen. After that, I did some farming. Gotta make those villagers procreate. By the time I handed out the rations, the villagers were tired and probably won't get to breeding today, but they'll have the carrots in their inventory, so they'll be ready. Thanks to all the new villagers on my land, now there's tons of cats that spawn all the time. There's an achievement for having all 13 different types of cats, and I'll get there eventually, I swear. I also spent some time making Chief a stable out of bricks. It's not as nice as warthogs, but it'll do. Day 502, I expanded the villager breeder with more beds. I want to get this thing bopping. I doubt I'll even use all these guys, but it's nice to have a good stock. I also got my iron golem out of the chicken coop. Many chickens died in the process. Day 503, I was back in the mine, mostly just trying to get some XP to enchant my shovel with mending, and all my other stuff. I've got 7 mending books now. I needed level 33 and got level 31. I don't want to AFK fish, but I might have to. I didn't give up though, more mining on day 504, and I got to level 33 with some clean coal. I still gotta put mending on my axe and my pants, but I'll get there. Day 505, I went back to the desert to make some money, get some XP, and fix my shovel altogether. Oh, and I finally got around to expanding the desert villager breeder. I'm fairly certain extending the ceiling 2 blocks was all I had to do the entire time. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. We've got some children in the desert. I'm gonna fill this room with cartographers and turn this entire desert into emeralds. Oh, and if you're wondering, I'm still killing drowned at night. I haven't found that trident yet. Day 507, I almost had some children escape. Good thing they fear me because they ran back in. My glass supply is still vastly higher than the glass demand in this town. There's only 5 adult cartographers I can sell to, and I make way more glass than that. Won't be a problem for too much longer though. Soon they'll start breeding with their own children. Do you like beets? No? Well, too bad. Now I've got 5 adults in the breeder, and they pretty much seem to breed on their own. I'd call that a success. I also put mending on my axe. It only cost 3 levels. I thought it would be way more. Oh, and of course I added more pufferfish. I'm sorry, but it's gonna be 32 levels to enchant my boots with mending. So, all I did was fish farm for 10 days. Yeah, it felt dishonorable, but once I put mending on my god tier boots, I forgot about it. Hello, sheep. Are you using your wool? Do you mind if I borrow it? I spent all day putting beds in the breeder. It doesn't look like we need more. But we need more. The real trick is layering the beds. That's how you can really pack them in there. I'm still in an unending quest for XP though. Gotta put mending on my pants and Tim. Day 521 marks the start of Operation Move the Animals. They're so loud, and I walk by them every day. I gotta move them. It took all day just to move the sheep. Tomorrow I'm gonna do cows and pigs. The cows moved over pretty easily. I only had to silence 1 or 2 dissenters. There were a lot more pigs though, and of course they didn't want to cooperate. Oh, that's nice. Sweet silence. Later, I tried to breed the llamas. They ate 10 bales of hay and didn't do anything. This is why I hate them. 523 was mostly spent organizing. I have a ton of garbage on my land. Gonna finish up Operation Dead Silence with the chickens and llamas today. The llamas don't accept my authority. I had to drag them in. And at night, I started making this big happy family bigger and happier. I slept amongst the villagers that night. It's quite comfortable. I rode Chief back over to the desert town on day 525. It was a long day of profits. Everyone was tired. And of course, I didn't get the trident at night. I finally am able to sell enough glass to these cartographers that it's a viable strategy for XP, fixing my tools, and money. And with how fast these villagers breed, it's only gonna get better. I went back home at night using the spruce road, and I really gotta light up this section. It's about time I give this zombie farm another try. I really underestimated the amount of digging that needs to take place to make one of these things work. I got the basic structure done by the end of the day, but I'm gonna need some specialty items. One of the things is ice, and I happen to know where to find some near my ocean shack. Tim really can't handle much of this, so I'm gonna grab as much as I can. Yeah, that was all I did all day. I took the ocean canal to save some rockets. The ice is so the zombies slide into the trap. It's genius. The rest of the day was spent messing with bubbles. Pretty fun. The bubble elevator will push the zombies up about 20 blocks, and then they'll fall into this room for an easy 1-hit kill. It's working even better than expected. There's so many of them. This is gonna be some really easy XP. Clearing some more trees on day 531. I need a better entrance to the zombie spawner. In hopes of getting a trident, I tried to make it a drowned farm, but later I found out that that doesn't work on Java. You can only get tridents from naturally spawned drowned. Of course, I didn't know this, so I spent 2 days pointlessly farming drowned. But I did put a cleric down there. He'll buy rotten flesh for emeralds, and I get tons of rotten flesh from this thing. Day 534, I started building a Java trident farm when I realized this thing was just gonna be too much work. You know, maybe if I go to 2,000 days, I can make this happen. I'm back in Glasstown today. Things seem to be going well. At night, I didn't fight drowned, but I made a little port which will make ocean access a little bit easier. I'm coming for that trident. The tridents are pretty rare. You can only get one from a drowned that has one in its hand, and even then it's only about a 7% chance. But I'm not gonna let a bunch of pixels in a game rated E10+ just beat me, so I'm still going for that trident. It didn't help that on night 537 I didn't find a single drowned. Not one. In the whole ocean. I killed 4 drowned with tridents on day 538, but still nothing. Day 539 I killed a couple with tridents, but again, no luck. I didn't even do anything in the light times of day 540. Just stood there thinking angry thoughts. Joke's on me though, I haven't slept in a while, so the phantoms came out, and you can't hunt drowned when you got phantoms on you. I didn't even start recording until the nighttime of day 541, but it didn't matter, because I didn't find a trident. I sailed the ocean blue on day 542, but I couldn't think of another rhyme, and didn't find a trident. Day 543, I never even left the boat. I didn't find a single drowned carrying a trident. By day 544, hope was running pretty thin, but at least I can go outside during the daytime. But finally at night, I killed this drowned, and he dropped his trident. However, I didn't pick it up immediately and started to panic. I got it, and you can't even fathom my happiness. Things really low on health though, so I'm going straight back home to fix it. Though in my absolute excitement, I put mending on the trident before any other enchantments. So I had to wipe the trident clean with a wet stone, wasting a mending book. I enchanted it, put another mending book on it, and then fixed it with the zombie spawner. Also got some achievements. Day 546, I built an AFK fish farm inside of the zombie spawner. Now I can get XP and loot while waiting to get more XP and loot. It's very efficient. So that's what I did all of day 547. I would AFK fish until the zombies spawned, and then I would quickly go kill all the zombies. I got mending on Timothy, so I can fix him down here too. The last thing on my mending list was diamond pants, and I decided to just make a new pair. It would have cost me about 30 levels to upgrade the old ones. Wait, why does it look like I'm about to fight the Ender Dragon? Because I am on day 549. It's an achievement to resummon the Ender Dragon, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm also looking for some XP. It took all day, but being as powerful as I am, it really wasn't that difficult. Kinda lame you don't get as much XP as the first time though. You don't get a second dragon egg either. It's a ripoff. I decided not to waste any time and went straight to the end on day 550. There's an achievement for levitating up 50 blocks, and I got that today. I wasn't too scared, I had feather falling boots. I also got myself a third elytra. It's pretty easy when you already have one. Oh, and you know I'm not gonna forget that dragon head. Though getting back wiped out both elytras, so it's time to fix them in the zombie fish farmer. I put a clock down here. It helps me to tell how long I've been whacking the water. By the end of day 552, I had 2 fully charged mending elytras, so I took the first elytra I ever got and hung it on the wall. But now I'm back in the nether for another project. It's time to kill some things. Yep, I made it back to the nether fortress to kill wither skeletons. I need their skulls. Wither skeleton skulls are a pretty rare drop though. There's only a 2.5% chance that I'll get one. However, they'll spawn more frequently with more surface area of nether brick, so that's what I'm doing when I'm not killing them. Nether fortresses cover a ton of area, so I can really increase my efficiency the more nether brick I place down. But again, that skull is rare. Even after 4 days, I only got one. Though I got lucky, day 557 I got another. And I was incredibly lucky on day 558. I got 3 skulls. I really don't deserve this. I need 9 though, so I've gotta keep killing. And day 559, I didn't get a single one. I got one on day 560 though, for a total of 6. I was down here for a while, but there's a lot of work, so time went pretty quickly. And by 562, this once sprawling nether fortress was reduced to a horizontal plane of nether brick. I'm a little more exposed with the flat ground, but I'll take more wither skeletons any day. Because on day 563, I finally got my last skull. That's 9. Now I'm taking the minecart track to the birch shack, because it's time to fight the wither. I killed this thing for the first time on day 300, and honestly, it was pretty easy. I came very prepared. So I set out with the goal of killing the wither 3 times in a single day. I need those nether stars. And with my Smite 4 sword, even 3 withers went down pretty easy. I'm quite amazed in myself that I killed 3 withers and still have daylight. Those 3 withers gave me 3 more beacons for an incredibly chunky quad beacon. I spent all of day 565 and 40 levels trying to get the channeling enchantment on my trident. Well, that was a waste of 40 levels. What's nice about this new beacon though is in the shallow caves around my compound, I get all 5 of those effects, which makes going through these caves very easy. Though if I go too deep, I'll lose them. Can't be cocky here. You know, it was definitely a pain to get this thing, but it was totally worth it. But I'm already going back to the nether on day 567. It's time to max out that beacon. I have to kill 2 more withers, which means I need 6 more skulls. It's gonna be a grind. But I'm trying to look on the bright side. I need more XP to get channeling on my trident, and I can get it here. So I spent some more days down in the nether. Yes, even 569. By day 570, I had 5 skulls just looking for that last one. And on day 571, with this solitary wither skeleton, I got my final skull. Time to kill his dad. So on day 572, I only had to kill the wither 2 times. It was pretty easy. So now I've got the strongest beacon type in the game, a sextuple beacon. And after setting it up properly, I've got all of the beacon effects maxed out. Essentially, I'm an unkillable god, so long as I'm standing near my sweet, sweet beacon. I'm going back to abducting in day 573. I was attempting to get a librarian that would sell me the channeling enchantment, but as you can see, the villagers were not cooperating. The first thing I did on day 574 was try to get channeling on my trident, and I did it. Nice. After spending all that time in the nether, I decided to go out on an adventure. I've only got a couple more achievements to knock off my list, and to get them, I've got to leave the safety of my compound. compound. So I'm just gonna go straight west across the sea, looking for new biomes and new monsters. To be more specific, I'm looking for a couple of different biomes like ice spikes, the Badlands, and a couple of other weird ones. See, I've already been to an ice biome. I need to find an ice spikes biome, which is far rarer. There's also a mushroom biome that I'm insanely excited to find, but nothing today. I'm also looking for a couple different cat variants, and on day 576, I chased down this one. It kinda looks like my real life cat. Just a little. Can't take him with me though. I'm a rolling stone. Maybe I'll find another one that looks just like him. One of the biomes I needed was a bamboo jungle, and I found one here. I've got to breed an ocelot for another achievement, but I don't think that's gonna work with all this danger out here. Oh look, I found a panda. I guess I can breed that. I locked him in a dirt prison and then went back into the jungle to find him a mate. I got one and then spent pretty much all day leading him with bamboo. They're pretty slow. Pandas are fairly particular. You've got to surround them with bamboo before they'll do any mating. But once they have that, they'll get right to it. I wish I could take one home, but I'm just too far for that. I have the coordinates, so I could always come back. I stayed in the jungle another day, hoping to find ocelots, but I only found zombies. I also found a jungle temple. It had okay loot. And by dawn the next morning, I found the Badlands. It's a great biome. The Badlands are another rare biome, and obviously you can see why. However, I didn't stay long. I've still got more to find. Day 580, I found a savanna town. They're nice, but there's nothing new here. But at night, I found a tundra and a stray, which is basically like a snowy skeleton. And it was also the last monster I needed to kill. There was also this abandoned snowy town, which was creepy, but also cool. I'm still just a man in the wilderness on day 581. I've only got 3 more biomes to find before I've found them all. And I'm really not sure when I'll get a vacation like this again, so I might as well have some fun with it while I'm here. Day 582 was pretty much just a whole lot of me and my thoughts. I paddled all night, and right at dawn, I saw it, the mushroom biome. It's a whole biome dedicated to mushrooms. It's also the only place in Minecraft where you can find the mooshroom, and I've got to breed these for another achievement. However, for that I'll need wheat, so I'll have to boat to an adjacent island to get some. The plan was to set up a very simple farm and then kill skeletons at night to get some easy wheat. And pretty quickly I got over 40 bone meal. And before the night was even over, I was breeding mushrooms. Day 584, I was just trying to breed some polar bears. It's not possible. Don't try it. I thought it was just because I killed this one's child. At night I found a sunken ship, and in the chest I found a diamond, so there's that. Only thing I did all of day 585 was find a donkey. I named him Hote. Don Quixote. He's pretty slow though, I'm faster on foot. Day 586, I found a snowy village that wasn't overrun with zombies. Ah, the villagers here, they're just so cute, little earmuffs. I also found the last cat I need, a white gentleman with different colored eyes. Of course he can't come home with me, I'm like 10,000 blocks away, so we spent some quality time at night hissing at phantoms. The only new thing I did day 587 was breed some foxes. I was lucky they were close to each other. Day 588, I was mindlessly paddling when I dropped my sword in the ocean, and I didn't notice. It's fine, I watched the clip back and found it, but I wasted a whole day. I have no idea why there's so many drowned in this particular area, but where was this 20 days ago? And nothing notable happened on day 590. But hey, during the nighttime of day 591, I found the ice spikes biome. You know, it's kinda nice if you're into ice. I was fairly certain that was supposed to be the last biome, but apparently I'm missing one. Anyway, I think it's time to go back home. I've had quite the adventure. That's why I'm mining this obsidian. I went straight west about 50,000 blocks, which means I only have to fly east in the nether for about 7,000. It only took about a day. 7,000 blocks with an elytra's not too bad. Yep, by nighttime I was back at L-Town and chilling in my poo. Day 594, I bred some donkeys. There's an achievement for breeding all of the animals, but they count as horses. Well, that was pointless, so I just killed the whole family. I also had to go grab Chief from the end shack. When I killed the Ender Dragon the second time, it respawned me back at the main compound, so I left him here. All of day 595 was spent creating my new 3-headed dragon totem. I know you're jealous. It took all day because the first couple versions just looked terrible. I know this might sound a little crazy, but I'm gonna do a raid at my main compound, so I gotta make sure my villagers are safe. I spent all day working on a locking mechanism where if I flip this lever, my villagers should be a little bit safer. And after quite a lot of wiring in day 597, every villager hut on my compound is hooked up to the same system. Day 598, I built this panic tower above the conduit. If things get hairy, I should be able to survive on the top of that thing. I also burned down some trees just to open things up a bit. At night, I tested the panic tower on an unsuspecting zombie, and it works perfectly. The zombie was lured into the water and the conduit killed him. I quickly got Bad Omen and started the raid on day 599. The beacon powers made such a difference. This raid was the easiest one yet. Anyway, on day 600, I got the achievement for hitting a villager with a bolt of lightning. He volunteered. I spent the rest of the day making tree houses, which should help in future raids. I did another raid on day 601. I was mostly just testing my limits with the Vex with this beacon. Again, as long as I'm standing near the beacon, I'm virtually unkillable. I've also started on a second double chest full of totems. I got 7 today. Day 602, I spent all day getting Bad Omen 3 to test out a level 3 raid in the compound. Even this level 3 raid wasn't a big deal, especially with the tree houses I installed. Yep, mopped it up pretty quickly and then went over to Glasstown to cash in on my hero status. I spent all of day 604 making huge profits with the massive discount these villagers give me now. I don't really need the money though, so I decided to go back to my compound and fix up my map on day 605. All I did all day was extend the map. It'll look nice when it's done. See, I was right. I could stare at this thing all day. One of the many achievements is to eat all of the food in the game, including spider eyes. I didn't even know beet soup was a thing, but I had to eat it, and probably never will again. Day 607, I went over to L-Town to buy some suspicious stew, and when I slurped it down, it blinded me. What a useful item. And for some reason, you can also eat dried kelp. Good thing I only have to do this once. Day 608, I got that kelp real crispy, but it didn't help the taste much. And I made sure the last piece of food I had to eat was my enchanted golden apple. It's one of the rarest items in the game, and it tasted delicious. At night, I put a butcher in the camp. Farming that kelp gave me an idea. Higher level butchers will buy dried kelp blocks, so I tried to make an auto kelp farm. I couldn't get it to work, and I gave up. So day 610, I tried to make an auto bamboo farm. I should have remembered that I'm terrible. Day 611, I finally was able to breed the llamas. But as I've said before, 2 llamas is enough. And now I'm going back over to my mansion for the nearby jungle to breed some ocelots. But of course, it's gonna take a whole day. I got to the jungle on day 613 and looked everywhere for ocelots, but couldn't find one. The jungle is dense, they're very small, this is gonna be harder than I thought. At night, I stole the bed of this child and slept very comfortably. Here's a pro ocelot finding tip: burn down the jungle. And with the jungle a little more thinned out, the ocelots are way easier to find. This one's gonna be in this hole for a little bit, but I gave him some salmon, he'll be fine. Day 615, I got another ocelot, but the first one I found despawned. Oh, I have a plan, and it's gonna involve dragging this cat through 4,000 blocks of hell. It took all of day 616 to get him home, and he really didn't cooperate. So I have the perfect name for him. I put him in the cat cage. He is their lord. Oh, running 4,000 blocks through the nether is so fun, right? It took an entire day of deforestation, but I got myself another ocelot. And I spent all of day 619 yanking this cat through the nether. And after 8 days of pretty annoying work, I was finally able to breed my 2 ocelots and got the achievement for breeding every animal. I decided to just leave him in the hole until I can think of something more creative. Day 621, I'm going to attempt the Furious Cocktail achievement. It's an achievement for having every potion effect applied at the same time, and I think I can do it today. I really made sure I had everything before I started, but I was still nervous I wouldn't get it. But I did. The invisibility potion is now my new favorite thing. Now I just have to find one last biome, and I'll have all of the achievements. Day 622, I wanted to put looting 3 on my sword, but it's gonna cost 37 levels, so I think it's time for another raid. But again, as long as I stay near my beacon, I'm essentially unkillable. The raid was done by nighttime the next day. There were no profits on day 624, though I was increasing my infrastructure to make more glass. But of course, that just means I'm gonna need more sand, so day 625, I spent all day shoveling. What's nice though is my shovel has mending, so after a long day of shoveling, I can fix it right back up. The sugarcane farm has proved invaluable in this whole system though. Cartographers will initially level up by selling them paper, and that's what sugarcane is for. The alternative is buying very expensive maps, so I saved a lot of emeralds. I was no longer a hero on day 627, but my elytra needed some juice, so I sold a little bit more glass. I still need 2 more levels before I can put looting 3 on my sword though, so I'm gonna need this sand. I was just on my way to start another raid when Chief and I fell down a large hole. Everything appeared to be fine. Chief lived and I kept the lava. But when I got back on him, he was pushed into the lava, and I didn't have enough time to react. Well, at least I have something to take my aggression out on. I'm gonna miss him. He was a great horse. But I'm mostly sad I have to use Mongoose now. Day 629, I did a raid. It didn't really cure my depression. Though seeing the Tree of Murder like this kinda helped, even though it was my fault the chief died. I'm still profiteering on day 631. I think the only thing that'll make me feel better is another beacon. And you know, shoveling takes my mind off things. Day 632, I spent all day building another quad auto furnace. That makes 8 of them, though I can't even use it yet because I don't have access to enough fuel. Day 633, I flew back to the camp with Bad Omen 3 and started another raid. The raid took 2 days, but on day 634, I found out that if I stand below my conduit, no amount of Vex can kill me. Day 635 was 100% filled with shoveling. I've got to fill up that second quad auto furnace. And after another full day of shoveling on day 636, I wasn't even near my max level of sand. So of course the next day I went straight back to shoveling. It's exhilarating! I'm still nowhere near full on sand, but I've got enough to last me a while, that's for sure. Day 638, I began construction on a second mega beacon on the other end of the compound. I'm missing 3 emerald blocks, but as fast as I can get them, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. I also had 53 enchanting levels, so I tried to get an Unbreaking 3 book for my Elytra. But of course, that's quite a lot of levels, so now I have 2 Elytras with Unbreaking 3. That means at full durability, I could fly for 57 minutes uninterrupted. Day 639, I sold off some of my smooth stone to pay for the rest of that beacon. So now that I have all the emerald blocks in place, I just need 18 more wither skeleton skulls and have to kill the wither 6 more times. Shouldn't be too bad. You gotta remember though, I've got a looting 3 sword now, so instead of a 2.5% chance to drop a skull, it's now a 5.5. And on the very first day being down in the nether, I got 3 skulls, tying my best day ever. This looting 3 sword is the greatest thing I've ever made. Day 641, I got another 3 skulls. I only got 2 skulls on day 642, but that's because I was mostly expanding the fortress. And day 643, all I did was expand the fortress. Day 644 was a really great day. Got 3 skulls, so we're back on track. But then on day 645, a new record, 4 skulls in one day. I only got 1 skull day 646, but it's kinda cool to know that I have 5 withers in my hotbar. And after a solid week in hell, I got my 18th wither skeleton skull, and now I can go back home. I held him in my hands the whole way home. I was proud. I guess now it's time to vanquish the wither 6 times in one day. I did it no problem. I'm becoming more of a boss than he is. So now I've got 2 sextuple beacons. It required about 4,500 emeralds to make, not to mention 12 withers. And all for a little bit more superpower coverage. I think it's worth it. Now it's time to break in the new beacon with a level 3 raid, and I used Fork to get Bad Omen 3. I only got Bad Omen 2 by the end of the day, but I had a ton of fun throwing a trident at people. The level 3 raid started on the early morning of day 651. 90% of the compound is covered by beacon effects at this point, but I've got 300 more days. I could make it 100. I finished up the raid on day 652 with ease. Wow, my second double chest of totems is getting pretty full. I went to Glass Town later. I'm not building a beacon anytime soon, but it's nice to have some spare cash. Day 653, I built a nether portal in Glass Town. I'm gonna use this lava to burn my 8 furnaces hot and long. It's a little treacherous, but I've killed the wither 12 times. I shouldn't fear pigmen. It's amazing I personally know 20 cartographers, but I'm just now figuring out you can make bigger maps. Not for me today. Later, I made a pyramid of hay. Just a whole day of nothing productive. Seeing how fast I can carve through blocks with a beacon makes me really want one down in the mines. Sometimes it works in caves, but again, not always. Day 656, I went through an abandoned mine shaft. I'm mostly here for the tracks. This saves me a lot of iron. And no, I'm not making an iron golem farm. Who do you think I am? Day 657, I made my cactus disposal system. I'm gonna use it to get rid of these books, and it won't burn down my house because it doesn't use lava. I did a little bit of mining on day 658 too. I've got to keep my other auto furnaces full of cobblestone. My pickaxe was getting torn up, so I mined in the nude for better healing. Even though I had no armor on, nothing bad happened. I'm pretty good about lighting my mine up. I've got a week before day 666, so it's time to spruce up my nether hub. I'm gonna keep most of the bottom part cobblestone. There's historical value in it. This is fairly dangerous, but I'm making a shaft that goes all the way down to lava for easy access. It's good fuel. I was very careful about the whole procedure, but if I'm being honest, I have a lot of fire-resistant armor, so even if I fall in, I'll probably live. However, even though I was fairly certain I wouldn't die, any construction in the nether always makes me feel a little nervous. By the end of the day, I got the basic structure done. It's not idiot-proof, but it'll work. Day 662, I finished up the whole system with some glass. I have a pretty much unlimited supply. You know, it kind of looks like it belongs there, and I can't wait to use all this lava. And at night, I mined up some grass blocks with Tim. I'm gonna need them. I'm gonna try my best to build a fairly normal-looking house down here in the nether. It'll even have a nice soft grass lawn. It's got everything, even some nice oceanfront views. Though if you know anything about real estate, you'll know it's all about location. Because even though the house is pretty nice, most of my lawn is still on fire. I did some more landscaping on day 665. Grass will grow here, it just takes a little longer. Dry climate. I also installed a hopper system by the front gate, so when I kill my neighbors, all of the loot will drop into a convenient location. Day 666, I trapped a zombie pigman. He will be the butler. See, everything a normal house has. And after some landscaping, it's not looking too bad for a foreclosure. I'm still working on the Hell Shack day 667, installing a blue sky. I only did a little. I didn't have too much ice, and I wasn't sure if it was going to melt. I got a lot more ice the next day. Tim's a lot stronger now. Yep, just mined ice all day. A sky's work. Forecast is looking like a wet day 669. I was just extending my storage room when I found a cave connected to it. This thing is right under the monster spawner and could be why it's so slow. Hey, it's already a little bit faster. Look at that. And bread rations came in today, so there was a lot of celebrating. Good night, everyone. Sleep tight. Back at the fixer-upper, and I planted some trees. I don't know how I didn't think of this sooner. Hey, it looks pretty good from certain angles. But after some birch trees, grasses, and flowers, it's really become something. Though I will have to figure out some way to deal with the neighbors. Oh, it's also got a menacing storage room that I never showed you. Is that Prophet's Eye smell? I made a lot of money but didn't record it for tax purposes. Day 673, I'm back home though, setting up some shulker boxes. It's time for another adventure. However, on the day I planned to leave, it was thunderstorming, so it's time to get some monster heads. If you hit a creeper with lightning, he'll become far more powerful, a charged creeper. And if that charged creeper explodes and kills a monster, the monster's head will fall off. It's dangerous business, and I felt really uncomfortable the whole time. But now I have a skeleton skull. This is nice. I put it in my treasure room, next to Tor's and Elbaton.
Break this glass and I'll kill you.
Time to adventure. I went west before, now I'm going east. How convenient, I built a road. All I have to do is find one more biome, then I'll have all of the achievements in the game. Problem is, I don't know what that biome is, so I might be out here for a while. I found some more Badlands on the morning of day 676, pretty close by, and I was simply running around when I got the achievement for exploring all of the biomes. I'm pretty sure I've been to a Badlands plateau before, but whatever. I built a little house to celebrate, and I'm gonna mine up some Badlands resources. I mostly farm terracotta, there's tons of different colors. It's a fun area. The naturally spawning mine shafts are a nice touch. I spent 2 days mining it. I have the coordinates, so I could always come back, but I don't know when that's gonna be. Speaking of going back, it's time to go home. And after just a short bit of flying, I was back at a friendly nether portal. Day 679, I'm installing my new terracotta floors. I'm gonna DIY and save some money. Getting the pattern right can take a second, but the floors do turn out nice. I got lots of terracotta, and I'm planning on using it. The base floor, I did black terracotta, and it looks classy. Still just working on the floor day 680, there's a lot of rooms. But by the end of the day, I pretty much understood how to get the pattern right. The front yard I did in green terracotta, and it turned out better than I expected. And it's finally time to get rid of this coal and redstone floor in the basement. What was I thinking? Light blue terracotta works down here. Day 682, I was breeding my bees. How do I still not know how these work? I also shoveled up some clay. I'm gonna have to make some of my own terracotta. It's gonna be a bit before the cotta's done cooking, and honestly, I'm kinda sick of flooring. So it's time to make a volcano. I need cobblestone. I thought this might be a fun way to do it. I mined and blasted a big chunk of cobblestone out of this mountain and then filled it up with lava. I also put some lava flowing off this side for a nice effect. I never knew how fun volcanoscaping could be until I tried it. I may have got a little carried away with the lava, but I can live with what I've done here. I keep having these recurring nightmares about my house burning down. The entire thing is made of wood, so I'm replacing with stone brick. They're fire retardant. It was not a simple renovation. My house has some weird stuff in it, and now I have to redo most of the lights and ladder systems. Messing with the windows though, floor by floor, is definitely gonna be the most tedious. This house has some weird windows, but I'll get them. The next day was a little easier because the upper rooms don't have much in them. Well, at least they all have a nice view of the volcano. And by the end of the night, I got to my throne room, which means the house is complete. Who needs insurance? Day 690 was just spent making everything look nicer, like my new gold archway. I'm also gonna layer in some smooth stone just to break up the stone a little. It looks good, but I think tomorrow I've got the perfect thing to finish it. I'm gonna smooth out those corners and really bring out the blocky aesthetic of this massive tower. I think that'll do it. I can say I'm proud to live there. Day 692, I started construction on my new dolphin cage. I'm gonna put this dolphin in it, because I can. So I spent the entire night dragging this dolphin back to my main compound. And by the next morning, I had captured a dolphin. Not sure what happened though. He was fine 1 minute, and then later I checked on him and he was dead. Well, I guess we don't want to let this dolphin meat go to waste. I'm back in the nether day 694 doing some more terraforming. It looks nice, but I don't think I can do anything about the hellish haze. Before day 695, I spent an hour in creative mode trying to figure out how to make a bamboo farm. Then most of my time was spent gathering the materials. Even though I got some practice, it's complicated though. By the end of day 696, I wasn't even close to done. An auto bamboo farm could turn me easy auto profits if built correctly. But for me, the wiring is gonna be tough. It's harder when you can't fly. The tutorial I watched on YouTube looks way better. It may be just a little bit ugly, but it works. The bamboo grows, it gets harvested, but those glass panes are going to be an issue. I'll have to switch out the glass panes for glass blocks because bamboo was getting caught, but it's fine because I have tons of glass. I still got some steps, but it's functional, making me bamboo. Day 699, I encased the structure in stone. Now that I have bamboo, I also have scaffolding, which should have made this easier if I knew how to use scaffolding. I'll finish it tomorrow. It's nice to look at. It's day 700, and this is taking a lot more stone than I thought. It's gonna take a while for my furnaces to produce, though I've got to find some way to spend the time. I'm down for a raid, it's been a little bit. When I do raids at the main compound, I definitely notice that pillagers get caught up in this area a lot. I'm always looking to increase the efficiency of the raids, and I think a trap here would be perfect. The faster I can complete raids, the faster I make profits, and you know how much I love profits. Yep, I love them so much I'm expanding to 12 auto furnaces today. It definitely seems like there's a lot of things to check off my list. I've still got to make this bamboo farm, and the creepers are not helping, but at least by the end of the day, the bamboo farm's done, and it's nice to look at. Day 704, it's time to move the cats, because I'm getting rid of the cat cage to make room for a lava trap. It might take a bit though. I never took shop in high school, so in theory, all I have to do is flick this lever and then boom, lava trap. Oh, I went to bed excited to burn. Unfortunately, I spent all of day 706 just trying to get Bad Omen 3 and couldn't do it. However, after a very lucky day 707, I was all the way up to Bad Omen 6. Before this, I thought 3 was the max, but apparently it goes up to 6. The traps worked exceptionally well. I was able to burn whole waves of this raid with ease. And in the early morning of day 708, I defeated the level 6 raid. It felt good. The exchange rate was so good, everyone sold out almost immediately. My glass supplies are through the roof again. I didn't start recording on the next day until profits were done, but I got 61 blocks of emeralds. That's like half a beacon. So day 710, I started construction on a prepper house out here in Glasstown. I didn't get much more than the frame done, but I used a lot of different materials, so that makes sense. I need a house here. The profits get absolutely insane when you have Max Hero of the Village. But the best part of the day was finding a cat that looks like my cat, then making him my friend through fish. I mean, I liked the house before, but now it's home. However, midway through construction on day 712, the cat tried to play in the fireplace, which obviously wasn't a good idea. I stood there for a long time. I couldn't believe what just happened. Hopefully some basement construction will take my mind off of it. The house has to be quite lavish to make up for the cat that died in it. The basement is the real reason I made this house in the first place. You need some place to put all your items. I'll pretty much only be using the top of the house to sleep, but I'll sleep comfy. The house was pretty much done on day 715. It's not bad for the head of a large glass conglomerate. But day 716, I'm right back to getting Bad Omen 6 this time, because I definitely know that's the max. But even mid-level 6 raid, you gotta know I'm still perfecting my traps. I wired it up so even those big Ravagers can fit inside of the traps now. It's insanely helpful. I finished up the raid on day 717 and started on my third double chest full of totems. And by nighttime, I was back in Glasstown just tending to my furnaces. And I got another cat. I'm gonna be really careful with this one. Day 719 was again an entire day of profits. I'm really at this. Because by the end of day 720, I had made almost 3 stacks of emerald blocks. That's almost 2,000 emeralds. So yeah, I felt like a hero, and I'm finally being compensated for it. I'm finally doing it. I'm finally going to set up a mining beacon. For too long, I've wondered what it'll feel like to strip mine with beacon powers on, and now I'm gonna find out. Well, I don't have the beacons yet. I've got to kill the Wither a couple more times. But before I do that, I've got to kill this henchman. Good thing I've got this looting 3 sword. I'm also working on expanding the Nether Fortress, and as you can tell, day 723, that was going swell. Well, this will be a true test of my ability to stay calm under pressure. Even though I had my ender chest, water does nothing in the Nether. I even tried drinking milk. I didn't think it would work, and it didn't. Well, good thing I have this totem. At any time, I'm carrying about 4 totems on me though, so I would have had more than enough time to wait out the fire. I'm not hurt, but I'm definitely scarred. I definitely got a little too comfortable down here, and you never want to get comfortable in hardcore Minecraft. So I built a trench. It's simple, but it helps a ton. If I ever don't like what spawns in the fortress, I can safely run down this trench to despawn everything. Then I run back and sometimes new skeletons spawn. But despite how good I'm getting at this, I still need 18 skulls. It's always gonna take a while. But hey, look at that, day 727, I already had 18 skulls. I'm gonna stay down here for one more though. I got the last skull on day 728 and then added it to my skull collection. I'm gonna fight the Wither 6 more times tomorrow, so I took all day to make sure I had everything I needed. Well, this is awkward. I left the cart at the other place. I did it, killed him 6 times. Only ever got hit right at the end. Of course, I had white stuff. Problem, the beacons don't work underground. Whatever, I'll figure it out tomorrow. It's time for my 2-year celebration cake. I'm mining straight down day 731. I hope this works. Oh, it works. To get that beacon to work underground, all I gotta do is dig a hole straight above it. I may have misjudged the beacon placement a little bit. It cuts through the mine. I'm fine with it. It's well worth it. I mine a lot faster with this thing. I spent the entirety of the next day mining because this is easily the most fun you can have while mining. This was a single day of mining. Oh yeah, day 733, I was back on the surface though, starting on a little construction I call the head factory. I still need a zombie and creeper head, and I'm hoping this building will help. It's fairly large though. I had to build it on the industrial side of the compound. Though while putting the roof on, I had a small accident and lost both of the willing participants. At least the explosion happened before I put the glass in. That night I captured a zombie and 2 creepers. It's a whole building dedicated to it, so it was pretty easy. Now I just have to wait for it to thunderstorm and I can collect my subjects' heads. Day 736, I updated my pillager lava trap. I made it just a little bit bigger so the Ravagers would fit in even better. I also put the kill switch on a block of diamond, just to flex. Oh, you thought that only took a day, huh? You don't know how bad I am with redstone. Well, you know what new traps mean? We've got to do some testing with a raid. The new traps are great. They're family-sized. The best part is now the Ravagers, which normally take a lot of arrows to kill, can be easily disposed of with my traps. It doesn't matter what you kill the raiders with, just matters that you do it. I freshened up my tools and made money all of day 740. A good one. It's time for a new diamond sword on day 741. I had 73 levels to blow, so I made a perfect new diamond sword that'll work in raids. And I think the best thing to test it on is a level 6 raid. This sword has sharpness, which allows me to do more damage to the flying Vex in the raids. Well, it does more damage to everything, but the worst part about the raids are always the Vex. I can't believe I didn't make a sword like this sooner. I was finished with the raid before the next morning. Just went back to making money day 744. A max raid will make you rich. Emeralds buy happiness. Remember that. I'm in the nether day 745 just looking for some quartz. I'm also running low on soul sand. I've killed the wither too many times. I needed that quartz because I'm building an auto sugarcane farm in the desert. I learned how to do it with the bamboo farm. Converting it shouldn't be that tough. And by the end of the day, I think it works. Nah, I had to fix up some things the next day, but now it definitely works. It's not as colossal as the bamboo farm, but it fits in good. Day 748, I expanded the walls in Glasstown. This town is essentially my entire economy. I've got to protect it, especially now that I'm expanding the cartographers. Oh yeah, a lot more room for a lot more profits. Day 750, I named my desert cat. I'll be more careful with him this time. Oh, I also built this little minecart track that goes from the villager breeder to my house. It's lavish. Walking's for the paw. I did some landscaping day 751. My workers cooked mountains of glass. As you can see, I had no plan. Hopefully this works out. 2 trees is nice. From the savannah. Now I'm connecting the glass town to the main compound through the nether. That should save on rockets. I use a lot of them just getting over here. I'm gonna make it look nice on the other end. Keeps the voices away. I quickly ran out of stone though. I did what I could. I cooked up a bunch of stone day 754. I'm gonna need it. I spent all of day 755 gathering stone. It's very quick with my mining beacon. I'm down here for stone, but I mine everything. It's fun. I'm laying down some stone today. Pigmen can't spawn on these half slabs, so it's super safe. I'm still working on paving that road all the way over to Glasstown, but we'll get there. You know, between you and me, this is all really just an excuse for me to mine with my beacon. I'm making a mushroom dirt farm day 758. It serves a purpose, I swear. Yes. Grow. I also made a mushroom farm in case I ever need to make more mushrooms. I'm deciding whether or not to put mushrooms down in the hell shack, and I'm leaning against it. That day I also cut down my jungle trees to try to get saplings. I want more. I heard from a friend that if you put cows on mushroom dirt, it makes them mooshrooms. And I'm gonna test that theory. I mean, I know where some mooshrooms are, but this'll save me a trip through hell. Mooshrooms aren't even useful to me right now. I just want them. I finished up that road paving all the way to the desert town on day 761. I also built a nice stairway down to the lava for prime access. I'm still working on paving day 762. In my wildest dreams, I'd love to pave this all the way to the mansion to make that route a little safer. Thing is, I'm already out of stone, so this is all I'm gonna do for now. I just did some tinkering with redstone on day 763. Your mom likes this one. Hooray, it works. I'm producing the largest hardcore Minecraft fireworks show of all time. You can catch it on day 1000, because it's gonna take that long to set it up. There's a lot of things I gotta do, and one of them involves good old-fashioned spelunking. There's a lot of caves under my compound, and I've been meaning to light them up, so that's what I did today. But there definitely won't be a fireworks show if I can't handle this redstone. Oh, I got it. It's looking good. Another thing I've been meaning to do is expand the monster farmer. I've got so much cobblestone, I might as well. It's on the industrial side of the camp. It's fine. Oh, and it was so much easier with a beacon, and one day I got everything in there, including the cats. You know, there's uglier things to have on your land. And it's a lot faster. I get a lot of monster parts, including gunpowder, so I'll deal with the ugliness. I spent all of day 768 picking flowers and then making bombs in my backyard. I'm new at this, but check it out. They get intricate. Day 769, I'm building my seat for the fireworks show. It's a diamond throne, and if you sit on it, you're at 69 height. Oh, it's hard to blend these diamonds and emeralds. My life is so difficult. It's time to grab more of that valuable cobblestone on day 770. Because yes, I'm making the monster farmer bigger. Don't tell the IRS. No, I definitely don't have more than 10 employees. I couldn't do the cats and finishing touches in one day, but I finished it up on day 772. You know, now there's 12 cats in that thing. I have an idea I want to test out on day 773. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm gonna need a raid first, so it's back to slapping. I was thinking maybe if I put an iron golem between a wall, he could bash pillagers on the other side. But he didn't. This is what being creative gets you. Nothing. I did the raid. Golem died. Somber day. Next day, I went down to Glasstown, said hi to Binks, and made 64 blocks of emeralds. Can't forget the sugarcane. I need these for my homemade explosive devices. And now, with ample supplies, I can really get my arsenal going. But now it's day 777, the luckiest day in the series. And on my luckiest day, I'm just trying to make some redstone work. My first missile test was a success. Everything launched perfectly. No luck involved. Day 778, just covering up my ugly yet effective redstone. Well, this is embarrassing. I'm gonna need those emeralds back. We'll do quartz. Stylish and affordable. Day 779, I found out about chiseled quartz, and I want more. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I'm also gonna be expanding the monster farm, cause, you know, why not? I tried to build on top of what I already had. I thought maybe it could work, but it didn't. Monsters spawn up here, but they die when they hit the ground. Technically, that floor makes my mob farm slower. Don't get me wrong, the monster farm is fast, but I'm sure I can exploit these creatures even harder. So yeah, day 782 is gonna be another day in the dark, with nothing but meows to keep me sane. This top layer totally works against me, so I lit the whole thing up and sealed it. If you believe me, it'll make it faster. Sure, I wasted a bit of time, but at least it has a nice roof now. Day 783, I was making an auto green dye machine. I think this'll work. I don't entirely understand cactuses to begin with. I was also working on the zombie farm trying to install an auto kill feature. I must have felt inspired. I never got it working, but that would have been nice. I guess I'll just stick to building roads, it's simple. And you know, I've been meaning to install the granite in L-Town for a long time. Oh, and I also checked on my sweetberry bush. It's fire. Big day today, gonna repopulate this town. But first we have to extend the nether highway. Won't take long, I'm very powerful. See, it only took 2 days to get a paved road through the nether with a minecart track. As you can see, I have a very large stock of villagers that I can send other places. And for some reason, repopulating the raid town sounded like a good idea. And that's pretty much all I did day 788, sent servants 2 at a time to the raid town. Who wants freedom? I didn't want to pack it, but there's a fair amount of villagers here now. All right, time to make this a good place to raise a family. Well, this is a terrible start that I should have thought about. Thanks to my expert planning, there's now a raid happening at the town. There's no locks, no defenses. It's gonna be bad. I lost. I can see them all cheering in the distance. Worst part is, when I was going back home, there was a captain down here and I killed him without thinking about it. No time to mourn. Time for vengeance. At the end of the raid, I was the hero of the village, but I don't feel like a hero. I spent the night putting up torches, being sad. Maybe I'll feel like a hero after some mining. I'll be able to put another layer on the monster farm, just gotta make sure I don't intersect with the bamboo farm. I'm sort of uncomfortable with how thick this thing is starting to get. I'm still going though. The monsters don't fall from as high, but I hit way harder, so it's fine. And I found a little time at night to fix the cactus farm. You know, eating nothing but pumpkin pie has really been good for me. 4 layers, 16 cats, and we're gonna be testing it today. I found out that if I stand on top of my house for a while and load the whole chunk, a lot of monsters spawn in the spawner. See, I go down and there's just hordes of them. I don't know what the magic behind this is, but it gives me an excuse to look out on my land, which I'll always take. I also got 3.5 stacks of gunpowder. I'm gonna make some bombs. Day 795, all day I just farmed monsters. It's super efficient and fun. Yeah, the best part is definitely base jumping my massive house every single time. With this new stock of gunpowder, I made over 1,400 rockets, and we're only getting started. This firework has diamonds in it. Ooh, I had to test one, and now I'm really excited. The next day, I mostly spent farming mortals and looking at my property. And there's no sound on day 798, but I expanded my compound sugarcane farm. I'm running out of paper. This should help. I can already tell day 799 is gonna be a great one. I made a collection system for the sugarcane farm. That was about it. I don't have any huge plans for day 800, mostly just finishing up the farm. And maybe putting another layer on the monster farm. I have a problem. It took 2 days, but I got all of the kittens in. Oh, that is thick. Yes! The monster farm is so efficient, it's really starting to get clogged up with a bunch of junk. For now, I just throw it into lava. Hopefully further down the line, we can get a little more sophisticated. Though I will say, with 5 layers of monster farmer, I've got plenty of gunpowder. So much so, I made fireworks for 2 days straight. It was magical. Day 805, I just realized I'm getting kinda close to level 100. So I kept farming. I need the gunpowder, and mountains of XP is nice too. Day 806, I was away waiting for the monsters to spawn when I fell off the top of my house. I guess it's a good thing I had my totem. Ah! What happened? I'm gonna take that as a sign to be more careful, but there's no way I'm stopping. Especially since I'm already level 90 on day 808. Yeah, nothing's gonna stop me. I'm going straight to level 100. I'm up to 94 day 810, and after day 811, I was at 98. So tomorrow's probably the big day. And there it is, level 100. It's quite the achievement, even though it's not an achievement at all. I didn't do any celebrating, I just made bombs all day. Day 814, I'm gonna put more villagers in Ghost Town. I don't tell them why I call it Ghost Town. Guys, you can't leave. I swear it won't happen again. I needed some more gold for fireworks, and my nether condo seems to be a good place to get it. Oh, and chickens are used in fireworks too, so they're relevant again. I guess I'm not the best enchanter though, because day 816 I dumped 50 levels into this bow and I can't even put mending on it. There's also pillagers in my sheep. It wasn't a great day. You can't put infinity and mending on the same bow. It's the law, I just don't agree with it. So I completed this raid using only my infinity bow, because if I didn't, I'd probably hate myself for it. Well, good news is I got my levels up the next day pretty quickly by selling glass. And the only part of day 819 I recorded was the sunset, so at least I got the best part. The citizens are doing well, there's more of them every single day. I should be able to stack these beds even higher too, so there should be more. Anyway, it was a long day of profits, and if I try hard enough, tomorrow I might be able to get to level 69. I did it, left there level 69, and proud. I felt it was a good time to change up my house just a little bit. Yep, I'm trimming it all out with emeralds, it's gonna look good. I only got 3 sides done today, but if I stand here, it looks like I did the whole house. Day 822, I'm doing another level 6 raid for some more money. Gotta finish up the house. These are the problems you run into when you try to build a house literally made of money. Well, now the raid is finished, and it seems I'm just about 1 raid away from 3 full double chests of totems. And after a long day in Glass Town, everyone was beat. Lots of profits and breeding. My favorite part about this town is going to the nearby desert and seeing how much my glass industry has destroyed it. And that shoveling is going to continue. I'm completely out of sand. I'm low on sand, the furnaces are cold, things are pretty much at a standstill here at Glass Town. I flew home at night. Well, one of my many homes. Got right to it in the morning. I'm not going a single day without emeralds on my house. Right now, my vertical mansion has about 3,500 emeralds on it. 20 floors of pure luxury. But I'm right back in the trench day 827. I'm gonna need more heads. And no, this time it's not for another beacon. I'm gonna make some special fireworks that you need heads for. But day 828, I got distracted by this glowstone. But by now, I'm pretty good at grabbing the skulls, so it shouldn't take too long to get a few. And I'm running back home day 830 with 9. Should be enough. Yep, day 831, I made some of the most expensive and luxurious fireworks the world has ever seen. They took tons of gunpowder, diamonds, and wither skeleton skull heads. But look at that. It's a little creeper. The next day, I went back to the nether. I don't have to farm. I have an idea. I laid down a minecart track in my nether trench. Now I don't have to run back and forth to reset the spawns in the nether fortress. I can just ride the cart, check the spawns, and if there's wither skeletons, I can kill them. I left that same day. Like I said, I'm not down there to farm. I'm in Ghost Town day 833. I was moved to make a monument to the dead. I was personally responsible for many villager deaths on this land, and I feel this is a way I can atone. It was fitting that I got to do some of the construction in the rain. Of course, it's a work in progress. I'm gonna spend a few days on it, like you should with any monument, especially one to the dead. Day 835, I went back to the old diamond mine in Ghost Town and I found some diamonds just laying around. I donated them to the Dead Villager Foundation, which I of course run. And now I will ask for a moment of silence for the dead villagers. Back to Labor Day 836, I have my mouth to feed. Yeah, it was pretty much just a day of light chores and bomb making. Still just working day 837, what a life. I also found a convenient way to store my diamond hoe today. Day 838, I rode Raw Dolphin over to the mansion through the nether. This time I'm not going to the mansion at all, just the nearby jungle. I want to make a house for my ocelots that they'll feel cozy in, and for that I'll need jungle wood. This is my best connection for jungle wood, and it takes a day to get here, so I'm gonna grab as much as I can. So I spent all of day 840 just grabbing some wood, and I got back home a little quicker this time. Raw Dolphin's a fast horse. Now that I have a solid supply of jungle wood, it's time to build a house for my ocelots. It's not much, but they are small. Of course, it's got a chicken dispenser in the basement. I also put a big jungle tree on top of it. I don't have one like this on my land. Hello, sheep. How are you? Killing mobs, never feeling blue. Day 843, I have no idea what I am doing. And even after a full day of experimenting on the lawn, I'm still not very sure. Got it working day 844, though. It's an auto incinerator. Just poop stuff right into lava, automatically. Conveniently, all of the redstone fits underground. The only thing that's gonna show above ground is the chest. Day 845, I got my Power 5 bow. It cost me 33 levels, but I think it'll be worth it. I also made a few more diamond shovels so I can increase my enterprise. Day 846, I continued on the Pit of Profits. A lot of shoveling happened that day, that was about it. More shoveling on day 847, how entertaining. And guess what? Day 848, there was more shoveling. Day 849, there was no shoveling. I was just fixing up my shovels so I could do more shoveling. Shovel, shovel, shovel. Day 851 was the last day of shoveling. I filled up every single one of my furnaces to the brim with sand. All in all, there's about 21,000 blocks in here. Now it's time to fill up the furnaces with lava and fill my pockets with emeralds. Of course, this means war. Well, that was a fun little conflict. And now I'm starting on my 4th totem chest. I should have waited a day or two. The furnaces are a little behind. I just got restocked. Whatever, I can waste a day of max hero status. I'm a rich man. Day 855, profits began, and the only thing that stopped it was lag. I didn't sleep at night, just let that glass cook. I got almost 3 stacks of emerald blocks before my hero status wore off, and remember, I wasted a day. But really, no day is wasted when you spend it with family. Well, I guess it's back to raiding on day 857 again. The trap does most of the work. I even burn totems at this point, I don't care. Most of these raids, I don't even have to move. I mean, they walk right into the thing. Needless to say, I became a hero by force and went straight back to slanging that glass. And if you were wondering, Binks is fine. He's not allowed inside, there's fire there. One more day of profits, I swear, at least for now. I could have stayed in Glass Town for a few more days, but I've got some business to handle at the main compound. I'm getting rid of the mining beacon, at least for now. I'll say this, it takes a lot longer than you think. Beacons have a lot of emeralds in them. Beacons also take up a ton of area, which is why I'm clearing land on day 860. Yep, that's all I did all day. Filled up my dirt chest, which of course will be used in the nether. So all I did day 861 was set up beacons. I want to have them in the 4 corners of my compound for maximum coverage. Yep, I spent the whole day placing emerald blocks, and when I was done, there was a lot left over. I'm gonna need 18 more wither skeleton skulls though, so I better get started. The whole process was easier and safer using this track. I'm so glad I built it. I'm averaging about 4 skulls per day now, so it shouldn't take long for me to get to 18. I'm sure there's ways I could increase the efficiency of this thing, but I've come a long way so far. But hey, in 5 days I got enough skulls for 6 withers. I'd say that's pretty good. Alright, now it's time to pull the plug on Uncle Wilbur. I did it! 6 times. I don't know what you expected. This time I even had daylight left. It's been quite the journey, but now I have 4 sextuple beacons in the 4 corners of my compound. For the most part, it's perfect beacon coverage. Some parts of the addition aren't covered, but I can live with that. I also put some colors on the beacons, but I'm not sure these are gonna be the final ones, especially since I noticed one of the beacons was crooked on day 869. The rest of the day was spent figuring out if I like blue or dark blue. I couldn't decide, so on day 870, I made them all rainbow beacons. I think I like this the best. Yep, no base is complete without a quadruple rainbow perimeter. I think I want to build something where I can look out on my land with a little bit of pride. I mean, you can see it, it's beautiful. So today I started construction on an observation deck / monument. To me, scrapped the diorite design and went for a quartz look instead. I think it looks a little more premium, but I don't have much quartz, so of quartz, I gotta get some quartz. This is a giant monument to myself, and if you want to look at my base, you have to look through my own eyes. I also put a way to get on top of my head for a more unfiltered view. The hardest part was getting it to look like it's been buried in this mountain for a long time. It took a lot of scaffolding. It also took a lot more quartz than I thought. I was back in the nether day 875. Or was I back in the nether? I don't know, looking at this house, it's hard to tell. I got more than enough quartz to finish on day 876. And it turned out pretty good. Nice monument to me, jutting out the side of this mountain. But of course, the real reason I built it was just to get a nice view of my land. And after looking at my land from that vantage point, I realized I have to cover up some imperfections. Well, good thing I've got more dirt than I know what to do with, even though I do know what to do with it. I can't lie to you, this is all just an excuse to make more wall. I also got a chance to properly light up my spruce road today. I've been meaning to do that. And after 2 days of placing dirt, we've got a big chunk of more land, which always feels good. I fixed up the road to the zombie spawner as well, even though I probably won't use it that much. But I think tomorrow I'm gonna have to find a place for the boner horse. He keeps getting stuck in my fireworks. I just made him a stable out of bone blocks. I've killed quite a lot of things, so I have quite a lot of bones. And I think now is probably a good time as ever to seriously start making a dog army. Gonna do some more terraforming day 881. I really wish the grass would grow faster here. Eventually I'm gonna have to find some reason to stay down here for an extended period of time so this grass can grow. Day 882 I built a dog barracks, which will house my dog army, bred from the dog I don't talk about. And after a jailbreak in the evening, the dogs will be eating chicken. I did more animal care the next day. I need this wool for something stupid. But first I gotta max out the tree of murder. I wanna make sure every square block of this thing has a banner on it. Well, that's nice and menacing. Oh, I also wanna make it very clear that most of these days I find some time to make some rockets. However, the biggest bomb of all will be built on day 885. You betcha I'm making a TNT block to scale. I told you it'd be stupid. It actually started to look pretty good and take some form on day 886. But then I realized it'll obstruct the view of the fireworks show, so it's gotta go. So all of day 887 was just me dismantling my art. Every block hurt. At least the dog platoon's coming along good. I spent day 888 tinkering with an auto melon farm in the camp. I understand the concept of an auto food farm by this point, so I'm gonna try to make this one big. And by the end of day 889, I had the first layer done. But of course, there's gonna be more. Once I got the concept down, I was really able to slap together those layers. Day 890, I got to 3. And day 891, I got it up to 5. What's nice is with my design of this auto melon farm, in theory I could go all the way up to max build height with it. But today I got up to 7 levels, and one more day should do it. Yep, I finished it up on day 893. 8 levels of auto melon farm. Complete. Forget being the melon king, I am the melon god. And I'm grabbing some more people, day 894. I got a librarian that'll sell me Protection 3, so there's that. If I buy 2 Protection 3 books and put them together, I make a Protection 4 book. Though unfortunately, if you put 2 Protection 4 books together, there's no such thing as Protection 5. Day 895, I tried to do something similar with a Sharpness villager. I'm not sure why, but he went from selling me Sharpness 3 to Sharpness 1. What a cheapskate. I did some mining day 896, it's been a while. I'm mostly looking for iron. I also wanted to check my melon production. For one day, that ain't bad. Day 897 was a tough one, so we'll just move along. Yeah, I definitely deserve to go to hell after murdering all of those turtles. If you're wondering, I'm going for the mushrooms. My cows never transformed. Of course, the only mushroom biome I know of is thousands of blocks away, so it took a couple days to get there. I thought I might get there day 900, but wasn't able to. I'm close though. I finally made it to the mushrooms on day 901, but it's dark out, so I'm gonna wait out the night in my cozy little shack I built all that time ago. I'm gonna try to bring 3 back with me, but if only 2 make it, I'm fine with that. Shouldn't be too difficult, just gotta backpedal through the nether a couple thousand blocks. There were 1 or 2 dangerous sections that I was worried about, but everything was fine. Only took 2 days and I had my very own mushrooms. Now I just gotta get rid of the phonies. Then I spent all of day 904 just trying to grow 4 mushrooms of similar height. It took all day to get them perfect, but it looked beautiful. I gotta take a day here and fix up my tools. Digging through the nether is never nice on them. Oh, and I always love being level 69. Day 906, I made 2 stacks of TNT blocks. No, I don't have a permit. I'm gonna restart that TNT block project. I'm practiced at it now. I got 1 side done by the end of the night. It's magnificent. Oh, and the dog army really seems to be coming together. I'm almost done with the TNT block by the end of day 907, but doing the top's gonna be difficult. Well, good thing my trusty sheep are always there to lend a hand. Day 908, I'm trying to make a melon man, essentially a farmer who will buy all of my melons. The first guy I tried out only wanted pumpkins, so I disposed of him. So hey, you gonna buy melons, or are you gonna end up dead? And after some negotiating, this townie will buy my melons. That's some easy easy profits. I felt day 909 was a good day to expand my map. It wasn't that difficult. I have 2 enchanted elytras and basically unlimited rockets. By the end of the night, I finished, but I think I'm gonna do this bottom layer too. Again, it didn't take long. I mastered this game hundreds of days ago. You see that right there? That's a map. I had some more time left in the day, so I started on the very detailed top of the TNT block. For some reason, I think I'm never going to forget day 911. Of course, part of the day was spent working on my Legion of Dogs. I also built a dock on my land. Like any successful man, I have many boats. Day 912, I'm starting on the cake factory. I had this idea about 100 days ago, and today I'm making it real. The idea is to have one building with everything you need to make a cake. Sugar, eggs, and white stuff. Once I tried to wire up the redstone though, things just went bad. But after another day of work, I finished up the cake factory. Now it's got everything. You know, if I ever get to 2,000 days, I'm gonna need quite a lot of cake to celebrate. But the only thing sweeter than cake is a new nether update. Now there's new stuff for me in the nether to find, and something even better than diamonds. However, today was just a marvelous day of exploring, and I killed several nether pigs. As you can see, I was having a lot of fun day 915. You gotta get under the lava if you wanna find the new and powerful resource, netherite. I just drank a fire potion. This ain't my first day, and this definitely won't be my only day of mining. This might take a while to find some netherite. Day 917, I made 4 diamond enchanted pickaxes to bring down to the nether with me. I mined all day and nothing, but you know, stuff that's better than diamonds should be a little hard to find. Still at it day 918 and still nothing. You know, I really thought I'd find some by now. This place looks pretty hollow. I'm on the surface though, day 920, it's thunderstorming. Looking to get myself a creeper and zombie head right here, and I think I just did it. Got the creeper head, but no zombie heads. Oh well, I really just wanted that creeper. I'm gonna go back to mining, but first I have to take a day and fix up my 4 diamond pickaxes. It took 2 days, but I did all of my other tools too. But now it's back to mining endlessly. The mine is getting so big that ghasts are now infecting it. I'm almost positive I'm doing something wrong here. Oh well, at least I get a thunderstorm break day 926. I'm going for more heads. I got that creeper head and then tried to get a pig head, but he survived. I'll take a creeper head, that's obviously very useful. That's all the footage is for this day, just me wasting diamonds. Gonna try out some TNT mining day 928. I made a safety ladder, everything will be good. Today was not a successful day, but it was a fun day. I think it's time for war. I'm almost certain that all of these dogs are hurting the efficiency of my monster spawner, so it's time to put them to work. All I have to do is punch any enemy and then the dog army will do the rest of the work. It's quite intimidating. I felt so safe that when the raid was starting, I went to bed. I regret to inform you though, at the time I only had enough hard drive space for 2 minutes of dog army footage. It was magnificent. They fought bravely and together. Nothing could stop them. But again, like I said, I didn't have hard drive space, so I only have footage of the first round, which they absolutely crushed. You are all good boys. This is also the first day I noticed some weird stuff with the compound. My villagers, they're gone. Obviously, playing on the new nether update has caused some minor corruptions. It's nothing we can't fix. The game is just having a hard time. I'm really not sure what happened. The villagers are gone, the wall is weird, but I'll fix it. I'm also gonna station the dog army in Ghost Town, so nothing bad happens here again. Please press F to pay respects. Day 932, I finished up the top of the TNT block. It's pretty useless, but I liked looking at it. Day 933, I was having a good one, just making a cloud. But at night I flew to L-Town in a panic. I had no idea if the villagers had despawned, and they didn't. Warthog was good too, enjoying retirement. I slept in the cool shack in a bed I guess I haven't shown you until today. And now I'm in the end! I'm here for vanity, and you never forget it. I grabbed 2 elytras, 2 dragon heads, and some other stuff. It was a good day. Well, I wasn't recording, but now the dog I don't talk about lives up here. I always said I wish I had some property in the end, so I brought it to me. That was about it today. Checked my various farms and forgot that Melon Man no longer exists. Back to TNT mining day 937 and still getting nothing from it. You know, if grabbing TNT wasn't so easy for me, I would have given up a long time ago. And it's all thanks to my 20 brave cats living in the monster farm. The search for netherite has really started to break my spirit. I again used every single last block of TNT I had and nothing. With a broken heart, I went back to farming gunpowder, but I can't do this tomorrow. I'm gonna lose my mind. Maybe renovating the ocean shack will take my mind off my problems. I ain't keeping anything original. This cobblestone's gotta go. I also won't be sleeping on sand anymore. It's still pretty bare, but the frame's up day 942. Not sure how, but after 942 days, this was my first sunflower. Oh wow, I actually came fairly close to dying for it. But I did not die, just grabbed another totem. Yeah, it's a lot easier to do this in the daytime. I had to run back to the main camp for a few things, also bred my sunflowers. I brought a whole wall back with me. Now I'll finally feel safe. Really just detailing day 944, it's the fun part. These chairs serve no purpose, but they make me smile. I also put a little secret chest underneath the carpet, even though no one plays on this world but me. In the end, it turned out to be a nice little ocean getaway. I don't think I can call this a shack any longer. Back in the main camp, starting up a raid and hoping to make some dreams come true. I'm attempting to catch an evoker. He's kind of like their leader, and also very very slippery. He spawns the Vex, and I hate the Vex. By the next morning, I had him sorta trapped, but not in the place I wanted him. Nothing a little water bucket can't fix. Well, that's just a nice addition to the compound. It could take a few days for the raid to wear off, but then he should be permanent. So I'll just build something in camp for the next couple days. I'm making a bubble elevator. I use so many rockets when I'm farming for gunpowder, it seems counterintuitive. Would have been done a lot sooner, but I changed out the cobblestone for glass. I feel like the going up process is a lot better this way. I can already tell it's so great for my monster farmer. The raid's gone today, so this guy should be trapped here forever. I wanted to test it though, so I flew back to the main camp with a raid. The evoker in my camp didn't count as part of the raid, so I was able to beat the raid without killing him. If you're wondering, no, Glasstown didn't get corrupted. That would have been bad, because I just made 2,206 emeralds in 2 days. I had to make a room of furnaces to keep up with demand, and I put a large amount of the dog army in the nether, guarding the lava. Next day, I did a level 6 raid in 1. Do you really need to see it? I have 24 beacons. You know what happens next. Give me my money! I made hella profits on toilet paper day 955. Wow, it's nice controlling the supply of everything. Later that day, I took my emerald profits and put them on my house. For now, I just did the corners. I'll get the windows later. I'm doing another raid today, and it looks like in the first round, we're fighting my prisoner. Well, that was fun while it lasted. Get out of my mushrooms! No! Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I know. I'm the hero. I sold enough to get back to level 100, day 959. It was a long day, and right about now, I really deserve a raid. Hey, what? Who are you? Whatever, I'm down. I'm still expanding the cartographers, though. You can always use more money. Speaking of profits, I'm still working on raids, day 961. This one went fine. None spawned in my mushrooms. I made so many profits the next day, the game itself was chugging. I leveled up a lot of new cartographers, and this made the game constantly freeze. More money, more problems. I just have too much money. If only I believed in charity. Most days, I just donate all the money to myself. Your eyes do not deceive you. It is time to make the entire house out of emeralds. I've changed out the blocks in this house several times now. It's not an easy project. For 1 day, that's not bad. We got most of the way up. But before we can finish, it's back to raiding. I'm not completely out of emeralds, but I know for a fact I'm gonna need more if I want to finish this house. The problem is now I'm running out of glass. There's literally too many cartographers. They bought it all. Guess it's back to shoveling. Again, the next day I was mostly just shoveling to reset Glasstown. But by the end of the night, everything was back to normal. Not 100%, but I'll make good money. I went back to emerald house construction on day 969. It was a long day of construction, but I got it done. The scaffolding really helped. You know, looking back at day 1, I never thought my base would look like this. But I'm glad it does. My favorite part is at the top there's an emerald throne, so it sort of feels like the whole house is a throne now. I still gotta do some touch-ups though, there's no windows up here. I'm gonna do green windows. It's sort of a gamble, but I think it'll look nice. It took a whole day just to break all the glass. I didn't even replace any. But today we're finishing. I'm excited. Placing the glass went a little faster and the green turned out subtle. Still not done, gonna take out these oak floors. They just reek of pour. I wanted something darker with the emeralds and I think stripped dark oak works better. I'm also gonna try to do something about those floor lights. I think I can hide them a little better. That night it thunderstormed, so now it's time to get some heads. I got 2 zombie heads, and that completes my collection, though I totally broke the 1 year cake in the process. That's okay, no one saw that. I mounted that second zombie head and a creeper head I got on the wall. All I did day 973 was make intricate carpets in all the layers of my upper house. The creeper carpet took several tries. It's big and colorful, but still needs some more emeralds. I don't mind, gives me a chance to do a raid at the Emerald Tower. Sounds like a max boss if I've ever heard one. I completed this level 6 raid with ease. I'm quite notable. I only made profits for a day, got a quick 600 emeralds. However, this time, not all the glass will be used for profit. I'm building a bubble elevator to the max height you can go. It's a big project, but it'll save me countless takeoff rockets. And it took every bucket that I have, but I got that water up there. So now I have a quick and free method for getting to the maximum height in the game. Pretty useful. From all the way up here, with just 1 takeoff rocket, I can get all the way to Glasstown. And today, I'm gonna use it to get all the way to an old ocean monument. Yeah, remember this thing? Totally conquered it with a single cow. Anyway, I was just grabbing some blocks. I was back home the next morning. I wanted to put a conduit on one of the floors in my house. It's nice you can get real up close to the conduit, and the room is totally self-contained. Day 981, I had some friends over, and one of my friends decided to stay forever. There's just always been so many rooms in the house, I've always wanted to fill them with something. This is gonna be a skeleton room, but it looks like I'm catching a drowned instead. Whatever. Problem is, I couldn't get him up into the house, and drowned aren't aggressive in the daytime, so I'm gonna have to wait till night. Alright, you hang out there. I'm gonna go make your room. I think you'll be happier here. Day 984, I tried to make a bread dispenser on top of a diamond block with a gold pressure plate. Couldn't get the pressure plate to work, so I guess I'm just gonna have to use an oak button. At night, I was trying to catch catch a skeleton. It was harder than I thought. I tried to get him all night and failed. He was really close to my house. Alright, I was definitely doing something wrong when I tried to mine netherite earlier. You see, I'm playing on a world that was created before netherite ever existed. So if I want to find the stuff, I've got to go to a part of the nether that I've never been to before. It's still not going to be easy to find netherite, and it might take a few days. But at least I have a chance now. All that mining I did earlier was utterly pointless. I'm gonna try another spot day 988, just flying far away from camp and making a random nether portal. This time I brought TNT, haha! And there we have it, my first netherite. Well, ancient debris, but we'll get there. Ancient debris, the stuff that makes netherite, cannot be blown up by TNT, so it's an effective way to mine it. And it's also really fun! I made it back to camp with 9 ancient debris, which makes 9 netherite scrap. Then when combined with gold, it's enough for 2 netherite ingots. I made a sword and a pickaxe. I think most of us probably would. I blew 100 levels on enchantments to make this sword. Its name is... Don't even come near me. This thing has 6 enchantments. I'm unstoppable. And because I could hack and slash these pillagers super effectively, I was able to complete the raid in 1 day. I had some time later to try to get a mending villager, but they weren't cooperating. My new pickaxe doesn't have mending, and my normal plug doesn't exist anymore. I'll probably get one by 2,000 days. Because today, I'm going camping. Camping is where you leave the house in the nude and survive in the wilderness for a while. This looks like a nice spot to set up camp. I got some stone tools, some coal, and I'll even be able to feed myself tonight with some fish. There's nothing like the great outdoors. Huh? Day 993, I went on a killing spree. I just did some casual exploring nearby, even found some of my favorite flowers. And thanks to some sheep who are tragically no longer living, tonight I sleep under the stars. You know, I'm enjoying making you all nervous right now. Today I changed the house into more of a tree house. It fits the aesthetic of the forest. But at night I'm still sleeping outside. There's nothing like it. Still working on the tree house today. It looks pretty bad, but at least now it has a nice little room at the top, certified tree house. At night I started on a tree tunnel. You'll see. This dark oak forest has a really thick canopy, and I had the idea of carving a tunnel through it. At the end of the tunnel, you're at the top of the canopy for a pretty nice view. Well, at least it's a decent place to watch the sunset. You know, I think that's enough camping for me. I got 21 blue orchids, so I think it was worth it. Today I grabbed Warthog and went back to the camp. It's been a while since he's seen it. I spent all day making him a throne of hay so he could watch the fireworks with me. Also, he deserves it. Binks didn't want to watch the fireworks show, but I'm gonna make him. For him, I made a cat tree. It is quite comfortable. Here we are, day 999. It'd be something if I died today. I spent the day making rockets and putting the final touches on the fireworks show. Can't have a fireworks show with a patchy lawn, am I right? And there it is. The sun is rising on day 1000. I made it. 1000 days. This place is really changed. I spent all day capturing good screenshots because I'm proud. It's not over though. After 1,000 days, I'm still alive, which means there's still more Minecraft to play. Make sure to hit like on the video if you want to see me go to 2,000 days. I'm sure you probably do. But now it's time for the fireworks show. Just gotta make sure the dog I don't talk about can see. I just want you all to know this is probably the happiest moment of my life. The show was magnificent. It started with the finale, and it lasted about 5 minutes, just a fountain of explosives. It was also very loud. I'm turning the sound down. And when it was finally over, I felt ready for some more Minecraft.